Hi guys, hope everyone's been doing good. I know it's been a couple of months or so since I've done any kind of comic book material. I have been buying my books every week and that all that good stuff. I just haven't done any videos. I don't know, just kind of got out of it for a bit there. Anyway, I'm back. We're going to put one out and go over some books. Just a few things of a little bit of what I've bought over the last couple of months. Really what I bought over the last couple of weeks, because a lot of the stuff I'm just not going to get out. But yeah, so starting off, in the background here, what I have is this one came out this past week or 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure. Killing Hope. This is from Bliss on Tap. Now Bliss on Tap put out Duel, as in on guard, duel, not plural duel, like duel, like we're in a duel. Yeah, Duel was a pretty cool story, and I think it was 5 issues. I collected that whole thing, and now I'm gonna collect this one too. This is Killing Hope, and the basic gist of it is Hope is a Native American girl who is in some kind of grave danger, and she's on the run. And the whole thing, Killing Hope, is they're trying, somebody, some faction, some evil whatever, some bad, is trying to kill Hope. And I guess the thing is to try to keep Hope alive is the main theme of the book is keep Hope alive, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't read it. The bad thing about Bliss on Tap as of now is they don't release anything digitally, and I like to read my books digitally because I need to blow it up, because I'm 50 years old and my eyes are not great. So my days of reading print comics are pretty numbered, if not over. So, and yeah, I know I can use glasses, but it still gives me a headache. Okay, we have Miles Morales over here. This is number 7. And this is the whole Carnage tie-in stuff. And I gotta be honest with you, I am not a fan of this Carnage stuff. I could really care less about it. So, all of the Carnage tie-in with Miles Morales, I'm collecting the whole Miles Morales run. So I bought one copy of that, and I'm not even bothering reading it. So the Carnage stuff completely misses me. I just don't care for it at all. And then over here we have Danny Ketch, Ghost Rider, number 1. And I got 2 copies of that here. Now this book right here featured the first appearance of a character called the Broker. So this is a future key book. It's not listed key now, but it is the first appearance of a character, like I said, called the Broker, who knows, might be part of Ghost Rider lore moving forward. So that's a good one to get. Okay. I know I got a couple of these guys. This is Edge of Spider-Verse number 3. And this is the first, or not the first, but it is the origin story of Spider-Boy. And it's not really the origin story, so to speak. It didn't tell you anything about where he's from or how he became Spider-Boy or anything like that. So it's kind of misleading to call it an origin story. It's more like an introduction or an expansion of who Spider-Boy is. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of like the character. And I gotta be honest, I was a little refreshed to find, because it was the first time Spider-Boy has been unmasked in this book. So it's the first look at who Spider-Boy is. His name is Bailey Briggs, and he's a little freckled face, red-haired kid, which was red-haired, just a freckled, red-haired white kid, which was kind of refreshing to see Marvel go with that, with the way the whole diversity thing is. I've totally figured them to make him something other than white, just being honest, which I wouldn't care either way, but it was just kind of like, wow, okay, I did not expect that. Okay, here's another key. This is Wonder Woman number 800. And I picked up a couple of these, and I did pre-order like 3 or 4 of these, so I've got, a total of 5 or 6 copies of this book. The other ones will be arriving from mycomicshop.com. This is the first appearance of Trinity, who I suppose is Wonder Woman's daughter of sorts. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't read it. I'm not a huge Wonder Woman fan, to be honest. I mean, I respect the character. I like the character. I just not big on reading it, to be honest. So, but yeah, it's a key. Absolutely. That's absolutely one that you don't want to miss. All right, here we have Superman number 5. And I'm still on number 2. I haven't read 3, 4, or 5, so I really need to get on that. I really enjoyed the first couple issues, so I'm looking forward to reading more of that one. Ultimate Invasion from Jonathan Hickman. This one came out this past week. Now this thing is a $9 cover. I was going to buy 2 copies of this. I was at my LCS, and I grabbed 2 copies, and then I seen the cover price, and I was like, nope, and I put one of them back. So $8.99. I mean, come on, seriously. Okay, here we have damn, excuse me. We have a couple copies of The Green Lantern number 2. I'm going to collect that one all the way through. I haven't read either 1 or 2. I've always liked Green Lantern as a character, but it's just not one that I am really enthusiastic about reading. I'm kind of that way about most DC. The only DC that I really enjoy reading is Batman and Superman. That's really it. Okay, here is Amazing Spider-Man number 27. Now this marks the beginning of McGuinness art. So now we have Ed McGuinness doing the artwork on Amazing Spider-Man. It looks like covers and interiors. So that's exciting. I'm really happy to see John Romita Jr. off of Spider-Man. His artwork went from really good in his early career to absolute just garbage now. I don't know what his deal is, but he has evolved into one of my least favorite artists. Right here we have, what is this? Spider-Man number 9. This is the Dan Slott run. And arguably, I think the Spider-Man run right here has been better than Amazing Spider-Man. Zeb Wells has not been very impressive. Here's Batman 136. Okay. The new Black Panther came out. Black Panther number 1. Haven't read that. I don't know if I'm really terribly excited about reading that. As Eve Ewing wrote it, and I just have not been impressed with anything that she's done. And I don't know. Maybe it'd be great. Who knows? Gunslinger Spawn 21. Gunslinger is always a perennial favorite. Here we have Doctor Strange number 4. Collecting that one all the way through. I do like Jed MacKay as a writer. And speaking of Jed MacKay, here's a couple more Jed MacKay books. We have Moon Knight 24. And we have The Avengers number 2. And Avengers I need to get into reading. I've never been a huge teen book guy, other than the X-Men. But Yeah, I should get into this Avengers and read at least issues 1 and 2 and see how I like it. It is Jed McKay. I do like his writing, so I would like to at least give that a shot, other than just collecting it. Here's Star Wars: The High Republic, number 10. This is the final issue of that phase, if you will. Phase 2, maybe? I don't know. I read every issue of that, and I really like the Star Wars stuff. This one was kind of, it wasn't, it really focused on the Leveler. They really, all of the High Republic stuff that is out, or has been out in the last year, has really focused super hard on the Nameless, or the Leveler, whatever they're calling it. And, I mean, it was okay. I liked it. I like all the Star Wars stuff. I really do, but it wasn't great. Okay. Here's another one of those Edge of Spider-Verse number 3 books. There's another one of those. That was the one that unmasked Spider-Boy. Yeah. And I do have like 3 more of these coming from pre-order from my comic shop, so I bought a lot of those. Here is The Incredible Hulk number 1, new series. And I picked up 2 copies of this from the LCS. And I know I've got a couple more of these coming from mycomicshop.com pre-order. But I did read this one and I really enjoyed it. I'm enjoying, I mean, it does have a little bit, it's kind of like a continuation almost of Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk story. It kind of goes along that vein, where they're talking about the Green Door, and I believe that there's I think it's a new character called the Eldest, and the Mother of Horrors they keep referring to. We don't know who that is, but yeah, I mean, they're like creatures of sorts. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I'm liking the whole monstery aspect of this, and definitely getting away from the Starship Hulk stuff. That was the Donny Cates run. That was just odd and weird. This is more of a, I mean, the Hulk is a monster, and this book is about monsters and stuff, and it's kind of got that dark feel that you had with the Al Ewing Immortal Hulk run. I'm really digging that. Looking forward to reading the next issues after this. Okay. Here's a book from Image Comics called Something Epic. And I bought like 3 copies of that. Something Epic. So hopefully it is something epic. Okay, from Boom Studios, I've picked up a couple copies of this Ghost Lore number 1 from Colin Bunn, and he's really putting out a ton of books across multiple publishers, and he's the horror guy, if you will. Colin Bunn is, so, and he's a good writer, so I collect pretty much everything that he puts out. Okay. Here we have Silk number 1, the next installment of Silk. I bought 2 copies of this. I like Silk as a character, so I do support whenever Silk comes out with a new book series or whatever. I do support it. I think she's a cool character. Not exactly original, but it's okay. Okay, here we have Amazing Spider-Man 25. This is a one where and I got 3 copies of it. And this is the one where we figured out what happened to Mary Jane or whatever. And this whole story, I don't know, excuse me. I'm kind of ready for that. Hopefully it is done, to be honest. The whole parallel New York City world where this Paul dude and Mary Jane were stuck for years. I don't know. I don't get why they have to blow up the whole balance between Mary Jane and Peter and all that. I really didn't like that story. But hopefully, I mean, now they're going to have to look into unwinding all of that. So, I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. Okay, here we have this World Tree number 2, and I do have number 1. I've actually got 2 copies of the error print, the print that's too dark. I have 2 copies of that. I think I have the regular number 1 that is corrected. I think I have the second printing of number 1, so I'm pretty covered on this book. I can see this one. It's kind of a mystery type deal, like a a digital thriller maybe of sorts. That's just from what I read of the synopsis. I haven't read that book yet, and I really should get into that. But it's from Tynan, and Tinian Tynan, however you say his name, Tynian. But yeah, and I'm thinking it should be good, and I can see this moving off of the comic book medium and into something bigger. So I really believe this one's a no-brainer as far as a series getting picked up or something like that. This stuff is really easy to do that with. So I can really see that one going places. But that's all I have in my 33rd box so far. I believe at my last video I was just starting box number 32. Well, 32 is done. 32 is filled up, and this is box 33. All of these books plus this one. This is a Grimm Spotlight. Lovecraft's Legacy. I like all this Zenoscope, Grimm fairy tale stuff. I do collect all that stuff. So yeah, that's everything that is in box 33 so far. And coming out this week, you know what? And it's been kind of a lull in comics, I think, for the last few months, couple of months anyway. It's kind of been down. There hasn't been a whole lot coming out. It's just kind of a lot of placeholders. There are new things now and again with like the Hulk, and there are some good surefire books that have come out like the Wonder Woman 800, but those are kind of few and far between. It's really kind of a lull right now. And I'm going to go over a little bit of what I'm looking at coming out this week. And yeah, and I think it's like 13 titles that I'm kind of eyeing toward buying this week. And I'll start with the independent books, and we'll move from there. And this glare is terrible. I hope that's not so bad in the camera, but we'll see. A really obscure independent publisher, Bad Kids Press, putting out a book called Nowhere Man number 2. Now, I did buy Nowhere Man number 1, and I read it, and I actually really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that they do have this at my LCS. They usually do bring in this oddball stuff, so if they do, I'll be on it, and I'll be sure to buy it. IDW putting out a title, kind of a horror title, and I'm surprised by this because IDW really doesn't offer anything that I'm interested in. But they got this horror book called Bryn Mawr. Bryn Mawr #1. And I thought, I did read the solicitation on it, and I thought it did sound interesting enough to pick up. So yeah, Bryn Mawr #1. And Dark Horse Comics has Star Wars High Republic Adventures #6. And as I've stated, everything Star Wars High Republic I pick up and I read because I'm a sponge for the Star Wars stuff, especially the High Republic era, because that's where everything's going from here. Is everything's going to be High Republic era, all of the live action, the animated, everything. So that's kind of I'm educating myself so that I know what to expect when the stuff hits the screen. So of course, going to pick that up. Scout Comics has a book coming out called Quarry #1. And it just sounds kind of like I'm not super, I'll tell you what, the most exciting thing I think about this is it says it's placed in northern Michigan. And I live in Michigan, so I was like, oh, cool. Maybe they'll have some Michigan stuff in this book. I don't know. So that's really the only reason I'm thinking of picking that one up. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, though, if my LCS doesn't have it. Zenoscope is putting out Grim Fairy Tales #73. And as I stated, I do like collecting the Grim Fairy Tales stuff, so I'll be getting that. Image Comics has a couple titles coming out. #1 is Vanish #8, which is, long lost Donny Cates. Vanish #8. So, and I have liked Vanish, so definitely going to pick that up. And World Tree #3 is out. So I really need to catch up on 1 and 2 so that I can read #3. Okay, DC Comics has a few titles. First being Detective Comics #1073. Okay. And secondly is Action Comics #1056. And now Action Comics in the solicitation does mention that there is a new character being introduced in that book. So I'll probably buy at least 2 copies of it. I'll probably just do 2 copies. But yeah, it's actually solicited that there is a new character coming in this book. So, and the third DC is City Boy #2. And I just like this character for what I think he's an interesting character. I wish he had a cooler name than City Boy. I do not like the name. I think if anything's going to hinder this character, it's that dumb name. So I don't know. Hopefully it's a placeholder. It's something temporary, and they come up with something better. We'll see. All right, and on to Marvel. I only got a few titles from Marvel that are looking interesting to me. The first being Amazing Spider-Man #28, and like I said, the art is being taken over by Ed McGuinness on both cover and interiors. Ed McGuinness is a really good artist. I mean, it's a complete 100% step up from what we've got or what we've had on the book. We still have Zeb Wells, and I don't know. Maybe he'll come up with something good. Remains to be seen. At least the art will be good. Ghost Rider #15. I've read every issue of this series, and I've really enjoyed it. This is one of my favorite reads in comics right now, is Ghost Rider. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And third and last from Marvel is She-Hulk #14. And She-Hulk has been a really light, kind of fun, easy read from Marvel. I've really enjoyed the She-Hulk book, so I recommend picking that up and giving it a shot. And really, that is it. 13 titles. So, and we've kind of went over what I've done on my 33rd box of comics so far. Well, that's going to do it, guys. It's good to be back. Hope you all enjoy this video, and yeah, we'll see you on the next.